So, hey guys, Chauzu here. So, the Kizuna is over, the World Cruise is over, but I feel like I have to throw my opinion into the ring about the 3-star Kizuna. I'm sure people have been wanting me to talk about it as well, since both Toad and Stump have made videos talking about it. So, yeah, I'll share my own thought as well, and while doing that, the plan is to do some polls in the Kizuna Clash. I have some internet issues right now, but yeah, here we go. I got like 80k tickets total, so I'm around halfway through pulling tickets. I do them from time to time. They actually give pretty decent yield when you have that many, so yeah, when you have like 100k tickets and pull them, like you can see people who got the infinite ticket bug back in the day were able to max like their whole box pretty easily. Nothing I can do, of course, but yeah, it is what it is. So let's start pulling. Anyway, 3-star Kizuna. I've actually made use of it twice now. First in January, and in January it was mostly just to try it out ahead of World Cruise, so I know what I was getting myself into. And funnily enough, the January Super Boss was a lot better for the 3-star strat, at least if you want to do a lot of runs, since you could literally use the same team for all of them, which I didn't know at the time. Like, I made one team each, which made it a bit more fun, since you could actually team build, try and make teams to make that does the 999 billion damage. Like, I had a team with the new Metal Exchange Ace and Whitebeard, stuff like that, and then 2 other teams for the other colors, so building those were fun. Like, I enjoyed that 3-star a lot. I didn't really enjoy the latest 3-star that much. The only thing that made it a bit interesting was the int variation, which basically required you to get help from someone else, and of course my alliance made that strat of almost killing the boss so you could get an easier assist, which was pretty neat. That was definitely the highlight of this 3-star Kizuna. Other than that, like, since last Super Boss, of course, Stump and his pals unveiled the team they use, which lets you use just the same units for every variation, since everything is boosted in 3-star, very easy to use anything, and that team works against everything. Gear 5 has rainbow damage, the color doesn't matter, so yeah. And that's like the worst part of 3-star for me personally, since team building is a lot of fun in general, and removing the team building definitely doesn't improve the event. Basically the opposite. And like, even if that wasn't the case, I'm not sure if I'd be a big fan of 3-star in general. My main issue with that mode is that it just devours potions. So basically, if you want to get any decent rank, you have to be ready to devour a lot of your potions. After this pool, you can take a look at my current potions. And I started the Kizuna with a bit over 160 potions. Currently I have 46, and I was prepared to wipe. And if this was like I planned, 3 easy bosses, I would have definitely used all of them along well over 1,000 runs. But thankfully, to be honest, with the int variation, it slowed the 3-star down a lot. So yeah, it wasn't really feasible to use all of your potions. So I'm happy to still have some for the future. And honestly, I have no intents doing 3-star again, at least until next World Cruise. Like, World Cruise is the big thing for me. For World Cruise, I'm going all in. So if 3-star is still possible and best strat, I'll obviously do it. But other than that, don't really feel it. Like, I've done it enough now. One point I should address that I've seen around, since obviously I've been very competitive the last 2 Kizuna. I've been using the 3-star myself, high in the rankings. People know about it. I'm very visible. So people feel like, since I use the 3-star strat myself, I shouldn't be allowed to say I dislike it or voice my opinions about it, since that makes me a hypocrite or something. That's the gist I get. And for me, it's just weird. It reminds me of that meme not sure if you've seen it, it's basically like curious. You participate in society, but you also criticize it. Very strange. Something like that. Like, that's just dumb. Like, that's just part of life. Like, you can participate in stuff and not agree about everything. Like, with that mentality, like, there should be no people playing Treasure Cruise, because I doubt any person playing OPTC is happy with everything, and it's like, oh, you don't dislike this little part of OPTC. Well, why do you stand for that then? Well, you can just boycott it. You don't have to suck it up. Something like that. And some have that opinion, but yeah, that's pretty unrealistic with like everything. Like, if you watch a movie and you disagree one casting choice, like, yeah, you can't watch the movie now, you didn't like everything about it. Like, that's not how life works. So I criticize this as much as I want. But yeah, getting back on topic, yeah, the potion drain is huge, and some might think like, hey, that's really good for Bandai because people can buy those game packs. And I can see that point of view, but I think in overall, this is a very bad situation for Bandai, since Kizuna's been one of the moves that people care about the most. And people care about Kizuna in aspects of doing huge damage and getting good Super Shugos and like merge them up, get high Super Tandem, Final Tap, Rush and stuff. But will that really be the case long term if people stop losing interest in 10-star and Super Boss? I think it's still too soon for that. Like, 3-star hasn't caught on that much yet, but eventually people it will just devalue Super Bosses in particular, and I think that will really hurt Bandai's wallet. Like, short term, sure, maybe they can get some from Kizuna game packs, but long term, it's like, why should a whale try and max a new Super Sugo when we have this team of old units who can do max damage every single Kizuna as long as you do the 3-star strat, which is optimal. If you have the pots, it's always optimal to do 3-star strat, and say a whale, for example, who buys all Kizuna packs, like, they can easily do the 3-star strat every time without losing any pots and still get a better benefit than doing 10-star. So yeah, I don't think long term ignoring this problem will be good for Bandai. They just have to deal with it. Another thing to note is that, unlike what I thought in the beginning, some JP players actually abuse the 3-star themselves, which is huge respect for me. I'm all for playing optimal. Like, the only line I draw is like clear cheating. Stuff like hacking the game, sharing accounts, stuff like that. That's not my cup of tea. But other than that, do everything you can in your power to get the best result. That's fully fine, and using the 3-star strat, totally in line with that. So I'm happy a lot of JP players did that, and Snowman made a video, the biggest JP YouTuber, about it. That also raises awareness. I haven't seen if Snafkin has made a video yet. He's usually the only JP player who makes videos about these competitive topics in OPTC. No other JP YouTuber even touches them, which, to be fair, is not that different from Global. Like, this time both Stump and Toad made a video, and very happy with that. Otherwise, it feels like I'm the only one who bothers bringing up subjects like this. So I'm happy to not be the first this time. So yeah, with JP awareness, that does increase the chances of this being dealt with, since historically it has been shown that the devs care more about what the JP player base thinks about stuff. So yeah, them not being happy does increase the chance of it being dealt with. But we do have I do want to bring up one thing I said quite a few times about 3-star, and this that 3-star is not only bad. One thing I've said, and many others who do 3-star say, is that this is what they think Super Boss should be like, in that you basically have a blank canvas. You don't have to care about a lot of stuff. and you can just try and do the biggest damage you can. And yeah, I do like that side of things. The main issue with that is just the fact that Bandai are too heavy on the power creep. So right now, it's still like 999 billion is not free. You can't just decide like, yeah, I'm going to try and make a 999 billion team and make it. It's not that easy yet, but it's getting easier and easier every single Super Sugo Fest to do that. And eventually it's going to be free to do a 999 billion team for basically any seasoned player. So I can see Bandai's logic in doing some limits for the Super Boss with that in fact in mind. But of course it becomes very weird when the Super Boss 15 star has like Grand Voyage mechanics that's just super dull. I definitely have not enjoyed a single Super Boss for a long time due to these mechanics, and I know that's also an issue that is probably bigger than 3 star. Like, of course, 3 star is a big issue since it's superior and easier. But fixing 3 star is not enough. Kizuna has a lot of problems. And I'd say the main thing Bandai has to deal with long term for this game, for the health of the game, is they need to sort it so they can break the barrier of 999 billion. I honestly don't see another way of doing it. And I'm sure it's not easy because OPTC is basically spaghetti code from what I've heard. So if they try and unlock that 999 billion barrier, it might cause other issues, but I feel like that's something they just have to accept and deal with and still try and fix. Because the thing is that if you can do basically infinite damage, like there's probably going to be some cap, but a lot higher, then like Super Boss HP can keep going up, 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 and not stop at 999 billion. And this means that they don't have to worry as much about the power creep as well, because every power creep is still viable. It still lets you do more and more damage. And people are also going to enjoy hitting new threshold like what, 2000 billion damage? Like, who knows, in the future can be really crazy if they just unlock it. So I do feel like that's what they really need to focus on. As for 3 star, like, I feel like it's pretty obvious how to fix that. Like, for starters, I'd say they should just reboot 3 star and 7 star, because there's no reason telling newcomers they should play 3 or 7 stars since it's bad. At the same time, at least they don't lose. I guess for the very most unknowledgeable beginners, it can be good to have it. But even still, like, they can just... I've heard several suggestions. Easiest is probably just to limit like how high 3 star HP can go. So instead of maxing at 909 billion, it can max at 100 billion, like even less, like something like that. That's probably the easiest way to go about it that I'd propose. But yeah, I do hope it gets sorted, because even if Super Boss is in a very bad state right now, it's still a mode that many enjoy to some extent and see as an endgame content, and have it like totally worthless, that is a bit feels bad, man, and can turn a lot of people away from the game. So yeah, that would be unfortunate. But yeah, I pulled like 8,000 tickets, pretty good. Talked for almost 15 minutes. I think I'll stop there. I feel like I made the points I want to make. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys. See you next time.